you lame, boring, confusing movies for this black love. I come out and hit the home run with Think Like a Man. Let's start the show. Yes, I know. Y'all look at me, y'all like, Chris, thank you for saving us. I had to watch some movies, but you got me laughing because you picked a good one, and I'm going to make sure that everybody knows it. I'm going to make sure my two co-hosts I'm going to bring in, Vic and E Boogie, know it because they needed to watch this because their brains were a little rotten from watching what we watch. I'm, of course, the executive consultant. Today I'm known as mediocre because people are just settling in this movie. And then we have Vic and we have Hey Lola, who finally changes her name. Or Hey Lolo. Okay.
Hey Lola! Hey Lola!
This movie is based off a book, Think Like a Lady. No, sorry. Act Like a Lady. Think Like a Man. Some women discover and they realize this is what they have to do in order to keep a man. The men find out. They say, hey, let's do it. The women find out that the men are doing it, and they get upset for reasons that don't make sense to me. And then the men conform, and then the women conform, and then everybody's happy at the end. All right, that's the movie. Let's go ahead and talk about some best scenes. Let's go ahead and talk about some best characters. And we're going to start with ladies first because that's what we do here. E Boogie. Lolo, what you got?
First, say my name right.
I don't know. What is it? How you say the name?
Hey,
I won't be saying that.
Oh, sorry. Okay, fine. All right. Whatever. What's it called? Think Like a Man. All right. Best scene. Every time Taraji was on screen. She is stunning. And her character was funny. Okay? From the beginning to the end. And, every character had quirks that were insufferable. But hers was just that she had high standards for herself. I didn't understand why she had to edit. But you know what? Ultimately, I guess there are certain qualities that she wanted over others. And I guess that was her learning curve for this film. But yeah. Best scene is anytime that Taraji was on screen. Matched only by Kevin Hart when they went to Terrence J's mom's house, and he was like, Miss Loretta, I'm ready for the rest of the tour. I died when he said that, okay? And after not now reading Jennifer Lewis's memoir, it also makes more sense. It goes more into her lore, like behind the scenes, her lore. But it was just so funny. And I have to say, I'll go into my likes. This movie was perfectly cast. They had the heavy burden of making this movie funny and somehow relatable. Because the writing, what the book is just a very anti system of thinking in order to date successfully as a heterosexual person. It is very, very weird, and there's a lot of rules and a lot of manipulation, and it is just ugh. And so, kudos to the writers for finding some way to make a movie out of this. But the actors, you can tell that the director allowed the actor, they were flexible, letting the actors fill the gaps of this movie with perfect improv. Everyone was funny.
Facts.
And this was also like the golden era of Kevin Hart. Like he does not these days make me laugh much. I don't know why. You know,
Fellow.
seasons change. Don't say you fell off. That's not nice. I don't know. It's just seasons change, you know. But back then and in this movie is some of his best work. He was so funny. Okay. And last but not least, my last like is Romany Malco. Anything he does is perfection. He is like, not only is he funny, and you can tell he is an actor, but he really does embody that player archetype. He's well dressed, he is well groomed, and he just has this demure suaveness about him as a person that he brings to this character, and it was just perfect. He was so good, and I was so grateful that he had a scene where he got to be shirtless because a lot of people don't know that he is bodied up. He is bodied up, and it deserves to be seen. But I loved him ever since 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, and he plays a similar character in this one.
I feel like he played the same character in this one.
I wouldn't say the exact same. 40-Year-Old Virgin, his 40-Year-Old Virgin character is like this character to the umpteenth.
Facts.
This guy had some softness to him still.
It feels like that character grew up in this movie.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Like it's equal for him.
Definitely. My dislikes was that, you know, because it's a rom-com, it's not the most realistic in the world. I don't know how all of these guys are friends. There's no through line of their dynamics with each other. It's like 4 of them, okay, maybe. But for how big this friend group is, how are they not getting on each other's nerves constantly? How are they able to connect about anything? I just don't. I don't see it. And then the men versus women plot format of this movie, it's been done to death, and it's been done much better. For instance, in Two Can Play That Game, that's one of my favorite rom-coms, and it's a very men versus women perspective on relationships, dating, whatnot. And it's just done really well. It's done very stylishly. There's some comedy to it. It's just done differently than this, whilst still being very similar in the way it is. And I would also say What Women Want with Mel Gibson. That's another men versus women, done very stylishly in a way that even though the main character is so insufferable, you still kind of want him to win, and he's still likable. He wins you over. I don't really like anyone in this movie like that. I wouldn't want to hang out with them.
Didn't Taraji P. Henson star in the woman version of that movie?
We don't talk about that. Anyway, we're wrapping up. Let's wrap it up. Wrap that up. Go ahead, Vic.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed this movie mainly because of Kevin Hart. I thought he was just hilarious. One of my favorite scenes was the basketball scene. Because he's just like, he's talking all that shit to Meta World Peace of all people. And all of a sudden, he's just like, yeah, I can take it. I can keep the court. We're going to play for the court. Da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden, he turned around. And he's like, now we in it now. Everybody grab your man. And then he runs to the woman. Oh, man. He was so funny back then. Like, just his level of shit talking was just amazing. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. But then, you know, the parts that I didn't enjoy is pretty much like, this really glorifies the transactional nature of American dating, where everybody's just seeking their own best interest. for as long as they can. You know what I'm saying? That the one with that whole couple of Gabrielle Union and Turtle from
Turtle.
um from
Entourage.
from Entourage. That couple clearly didn't seem believable at all, but then at the same time, like she stuck with him for 9 years and was being hella fake. Right? That part of it I didn't really like because the fact that he was like, listen, she's doing all that stuff for you, and it doesn't really rock with you. She's just doing all that stuff for you, but then at the same time, like she's looking for him to grow up. She's looking for the ring. She's looking for him to settle down, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Behind every man is a good woman. But lead with that. You know what I mean? Like it took the book for her to get there. So this whole thing, a lot of it was from everybody's views, even especially Megan Good. Like, everybody was just seeking out their own best interest. And I think that's a very, very, very American way of doing things. Where you're not necessarily giving a shit about the neighborhood or the fact that, or just looking for anybody that is around or at your level until you spend some time with them, get to know them, and then feel them for who they really are. But you're initially going into this being your own best interest, and every single person in this movie was doing that. But the biggest highlight to this was at the end when Kevin Hart was calling Wendy Williams, talking about like, man, listen, I was talking all of this shit, but how I feel is how I feel, and I miss you, and I wanted that. So it just kind of made me feel like everybody runs around and says all of this bullshit, but then at the end of the day, like they like what they like, and they want to keep what they like. The biggest player in the game in the movie, yes, he kind of got manipulated into it, but after spending time with her, trying to get some skins, and then
let's say cheeks.
Yeah, okay, yeah, trying to get some buns, trying to get some cheeks, right? He ended up falling for the girl, and then in the end, when he was presented some easy strange on a platter, he didn't want it anymore. That's why I feel like he grew up in this movie, because he was that same character in 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he was just like, going to the speed dating events and marking down the girls that were hurting for a squirt. You know what I mean? So like, this was just all around a good time. Straight up, I give it a thumbs up, and it really just showed. Huh? Well, yeah.
Low key, let's wrap this up.
Straight up. Anyway, I'm rambling because I'm all over the place. This movie was just funny, man. I had a good time watching this.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Let's discuss if I had a good time.
But you didn't like
There's
this
some characters.
Pick it?
Huh?
You didn't like this movie either, didn't you pick it?
It was the first time I saw this movie since it came out. That was like 15 years ago.
You saw it in theaters?
No. Let's discuss some characters. Wasn't too happy with.
Okay, there we go.
Shout out to E Boogie. She actually picked one of my favorite scenes. Clearly, Kevin Hart was my favorite character because he was hilarious in this scene. Still holds up today. Very, very funny. And I wanted to pick this as my favorite scene, but I can't. It's got to be this scene. And I couldn't get everything when it comes to this scene. But him proposing to her was my favorite scene. And you might say, why mediocre? Why is this your favorite scene? Because he proposed to her while she had some clients trying to buy this house. And his reaction from cheering him on to wanting to beat his ass to cheering him on had me in tears. So it became my favorite scene. So I like that, right? Kevin Hart, my favorite character. Now let's discuss my least favorite character, right?
Yeah.
Which is practically every single person in this movie, right? I'm going to go from left to right. These characters. E said it very intelligently a little bit while ago. The men versus women aspect, I didn't need it. My name is mediocre for a reason. I just feel like too many people settle. The mama's boy were her. She was, still is actually. She barely ages. Drop dead, gorgeous woman, great job. Only problem, and it's not even a problem. I'm just saying it's not a problem. Okay, I'm just saying if you have a red flag, this might be a red flag. She had a son, but fine. The son was fine. Perfectly great woman. Wish I could meet one in Florida. Now, that being said, he's a bum. And when I mean he's a bum, I'm a mama's boy. Rest in peace. But I'm a mama's boy. He takes the cake.
Thanks.
He's going to go right back to where he was. He ain't just turned that over. The only reason how come he turned around, because his mama stopped fighting because she was getting some deep. Let's just call it a spade. Let's keep it up, okay?
That was Baby Boy Part 2.
Either way you look at it. Problem. Next couple. Only couple I think had a problem. Except for the fact that he's a child. She stayed in there too long. But he's showing signs of improvement. And I think he can improve. I don't think he'll ever be 100%, but nobody is. That was my favorite. These two, my least favorite couple. I know E Boogie said Taraji P. Henson couldn't stand her. Could not stand her. Her standards were way too high, but they're her standards. It's fine. Right? She should have stuck to her morals. He lied. Lied for a good reason, I guess, because he was trying to talk. But the bottom line is he lied. Not once, not twice, but he lied. And these were big lies. Well, he could have just been honest from the get-go. And if she didn't like that, because that was not what she was into, that is her loss.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of that. I feel like that was too much settling. The last couple down there, and I'll talk about Kevin Hart and Wendy Williams in a second, and that domestic abuse dispute. But Megan Good and your boy with the abs, E Boogie, was not a fan. They were on the verge of being my favorite couple, but then she found the book and she started tripping, and I was like, no, unacceptable. There was no reason to trip. She was the woman I respected the most outside of Regina Hall's character. She was the woman I respected the most because she had her principles. She said, after Chris Brown acted like an idiot, just like he does in real life, she said, I'm not doing anything for 90 days. Now, granted, she should have probably been honest from the get-go, but she had her morals and she stuck with them. He actually respected it. What is it?
I'm just trying to think about how I would be honest about not wanting to be intimate with someone for 90 days. Like, how do you insert that honestly in a conversation?
So you could insert it without putting a numerical number to it, a digit to it. You're not going to sit here and say, oh, after 90 days, then we can do it. You can sit here and say, hey, you know what? My sexuality is very important to me. I don't just do it for X, Y, and Z reasons. I have to know when it's right. Facts. And a real man will respect that.
Facts.
I know because I've had that conversation with women before.
Yep.
Right? A real man will respect it. She had no problem saying, you can't come inside to nightcap until the 6th date.
I mean, he had no problem saying how long until I can come up, which was crazy.
That was crazy, but it's also transparency.
Yep.
It's transparency.
That is transparency.
Had it been me, he would have never came up talking about.
And that's your right.
How long until I go? Because
that's your right. That's your right. But he was transparent, and she should have been just as transparent. No. Just because he read a book that she read, does that mean that automatically I need to throw you to a side? I thought that was a little overboard. They can have a conversation about it, but I think she went a little overboard because for the most part, he did exactly what she asked him to do.
But mind you, this was way before the CD, the record, the whole situation with, learning about dreams, about getting to know each other. That was just lust from the beginning.
You know what? You are right.
You know what I mean? But once you start seeing the forest for the trees, then you start appreciating it a little more. #group. But yo, he got to do that, and all of a sudden, he's crying over, and he didn't get the buns yet. You know what I'm saying? So like, come on now,
Vic,
because that was his goal. He was on there like Pepe Le Pew, man.
You are absolutely 100% right. Mechagood is the villain, and I've now changed my mind because
what?
Yeah, just like in the last movie review last week, and I said that she should have told him that he was bad in bed. I listened to that CD. He was not good. She should have told him from the get-go. Instead, she let him believe that he has a career, and he does not. He cannot sing. Also, why did Kevin Hart go back to Wendy Williams after she kicked his ass? I wasn't a fan. In the meantime, let's get to thumbs up and thumbs down. Vic, we'll start with you. Actually, no, E-Boogie. We'll start with you. Thumbs up, thumbs down for this movie.
It's a funny movie. Rewatchability it's got to be a long gap. Like, I think this was just enough of a gap for me to watch it. And it came out when? 2012?
2010.
2010? No, it was 2012. 2010? There's no way. Look at the guy in the chair over here. Please.
I'm the man at it. Okay, yeah, you are absolutely right. April 12th.
I know, and you know what? I've been right.
April 20th, 2012.
I've been right, and I've been right all evening, but we're not gonna get into that. I guess I'll give it a thumbs up because it did make me laugh this time. It did, and it's from Kevin's golden era. I'll give it for him alone. Everybody else,
him always appearing in that guy's apartment was funny to me because that was so crazy.
Yes.
He said, if you go upstairs, there might be something. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell, but it's a lot. Anyway, go ahead, Vic.
I think this is a very good picture because I think it depicts our culture of self-interest. Our hardcore culture of self-interest when we go into relationships, we're just thinking about what's best for us until we get to know people and we get to miss them. And then once we miss them, we miss like them as opposed to you know what I mean? And the other thing, I remember when the book came out. I know people that bought this book and were like, oh, Steve Harvey got the answers and all of that. And like, why
stretching the essay.
This movie came out. Like, this shit was just wild. You know how many people in the hood was just like, oh, Steve Harvey got the answers, girl. Like, for real. Like, this was a thing. So now when this movie came out, I felt like it was real interesting. And watching it back now after all this time and how much, Steve Harvey has changed and you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's interesting. But like I said from the beginning, Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart. And back when Kevin Hart was funny, this was great.
Back when is a read.
All right, so
hairless fingers.
Bottom line is, my criteria for a thumbs up and thumbs down is very easy. Very easy. It's not hard for any movie to get it. I have to be entertained. I was entertained throughout the whole movie. Whether I agree with some stuff, whether I disagree with some stuff, whether I like this character, whether I didn't like this character, whether I like to see it, didn't like to see. I was entertained. It gets a thumbs up from mediocre. That's all we got. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us for these last 3 weeks. Got another one coming for you next week. For Vic, for Hey, whatever her name is.
Hey, Lola. Hey, Lola. If you know, you know. I'll leave it at that.
I am mediocre. We will talk to you next time right here on the Popular Review Entertainment. Good night, everybody.